painting is a monochromatic ink painting developed in China. There was a great emphasis in the brushwork. Vertical scroll painting was the classic format, but horizontal played a role as well. These paintings were kept rolled up and brought out for owners and friends to admire. These paintings used different ink values and were often signed with a red chalk. Let's get started with our Sumi painting. We have our Chinese paintbrush out of bamboo, some water, and a black temper cake. I want you just to give a couple practice strokes. I'm getting my brush wet. I'm pressing my bristles so it's not drippy and sopping. You don't want extra water on your brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of paint. I want to show you the first one. It's pulling. You are going to hold your brush straight up and you are going to go across your page. Now when I'm painting, I'm using my whole arm. This is bending from my shoulder, not my wrist. So try doing your pulling. The next one I want you to do is pressure. If I put my whole brush down, straight up and down, and pull across, I'm going to have a thicker line. Do you see that? If I put it less pressure, I'll have a thinner line. I want you to try laying your entire, this one you're going to have a 45-degree angle like you're holding a pencil. Try pushing all the bristles down and sliding across. This technique is what we're going to use for our bamboo. Now I want you to try to double load. Clean your brush, pick up some paint, and then on the tip pick up more paint. So you should have lighter black here and darker at the tips. See if you can get two different values. Do you see how I have it dark and then light? We've double loaded the brush and we have two different values. When you're done, let's go ahead and practice our bamboo. I'm holding it at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to do this side technique, but I'm going to work from the bottom of the page up, pressing my whole brush down, go up. Leave a little space and up. Now this here, you want that. That is desirable in your Sumi painting to have a little bit of white. We'll go right off the page. Now for the shoots that come out in between these knuckles, you are going to use the tip of your brush. So you're holding it straight up. If you need to gather a little bit more paint, do that. You don't want a real wet brush. And your shoots are going to go up towards the top of your page. Maybe you want shoots on this side and that side. Now we'll go ahead and add a little bit of detail in the bamboo to show the knuckles of the bamboo. When I do that, I start on the top and come in between, and down. Last thing we need to do are the leaves. Your leaves, you're going to use a little bit of pressure and pull down. When I'm pulling down, I'm lifting my brush up so I can get a tapered edge. You can overlap them. So play around and see what kind of bamboo and brush strokes you can get. All right, now we're ready to get our Chinese landscape painting going. We have our brush, our water, our temper cakes. Grab a little water, we press off the extra water, get a little bit of paint, and I think I just want to get my paintbrush double loaded, so I'll do a little bit more on the tip of my brush, just the tip. I'm holding my brush at a 45-degree angle, like I would my pencil. I'm going to lay the entire brush down on my paper, starting at the bottom, and I'm going to bring it up, lift. Press it down, leaving that space in between, and lift. Continue up to the top of your paper. This is perfect. I have two values of black here, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I'll do that again, pick up some paint, do a little bit more on the tip. I'm gonna move over here, do another bamboo, same way. I'm running into that, trying to figure out how to work that one. Maybe I'll just leave that. Pick up paint, more on the tip. I didn't get as much value in this one as I did the other one. Maybe this one will come up and over. Now let's go ahead, using just the tip, 90 degrees, straight up and down. We're gonna do our knuckles in between. That looks a little dark, so I'll get a little water on there. And now I'll do my shoots coming out from the knuckles, using just the tip, going up towards the top of the page, maybe one. You don't have to have two in each one. Now we'll grab our leaves, starting at the shoot, the end of the shoot, a little bit of the tip. I have a wee bit of pressure on my brush, and then I release it so I get the tapered look. Now we'll come over and decide what kind of panda do you want. I'm gonna have my panda over here sitting, eating some bamboo or looking at the bamboo. I'm gonna start out with his head, using just the tip, and I have just a wee bit of paint on my brush. I can always go add more later. Now I'll do the body. He's sitting, so I'll kind of have him like that. And go pick up a little bit more paint and add my details. His ears, little puff balls. I feel like my brush is getting wet. It's hard to control, so I'll get some of that water off. And the eyes are ovals. Keep it simple. Little nose. Now we got to get the arms in. This arm will be coming across. This arm is going to come out from the back. We're not seeing that entire arm. And his legs. And this leg, we'll see the whole leg. You decide if you want to darken up your lines there. Looks like he's floating, so I'm going to ground him. Putting some ground down here, just using a light value. I'll leave room in the top for my Chinese lettering, but if I wanted to add something in the sky, some whimsical clouds, can do that. Now we're ready to create our chop. Our chop is going to be that red symbol in our upper corner of our artwork saying that we did it. It's like your signature. You get to decide what kind of signature you want. I can tell you, if you do your name, it needs to be backwards because this will be a mirror print. So if I have the letter P and I want to do P, I'm going to have to do it backwards like that. And then when I go to stamp it, it will be forwards. I'm thinking I just want a symbol, and let's see. If you need to practice this in your sketchbook, you can go for that. Your chop does not necessarily mean that you're writing your name out. It could be a symbol, could be initial, could be Chinese characters. When you're done, I've pressed it with pen and I've gone nice and deep so I can see the indentation. I'm going to color this with red marker. And you know what? You don't need to leave a square. If you want to make a circle chop, you can cut that into a circle. Now I'm going to grab my artwork, my landscape, come into the corner. I'm going to get my sponge. It's damp. I'm just going to moisten that area. Turn my chop over and press it. Make sure you get all the edges. Do not move it. If you move it, it will get a ghost print, be blurry, and lift it. There is my chop on my panda landscape. Now we're going to glue our landscape to our red paper to form a scroll. I'm going to do glue dots around the edge, leaving a finger space. If I go right up to the very edge of my paper, it will get smeary. I'll put just a little bit on the inside. Turn it over. Hold it with 2 hands, pulling it tight. Line it up. When you line it up, your edges should meet, and then you should have a border at the top and bottom. Now this paint smears, so try not to do that. I'm going to pull this whole thing over, kind of give it a rub so the glue can grab the paper and hold it. Now I have that. So now I can create some Chinese characters or symbols around the scroll on the red. I have some gold metallic markers that we will be using. Using our gold pen marker, we can do some designs around our scroll border. Think about a repeating pattern. If you're looking for something different, you could do swirlies. Think about lines, shapes, and patterns. Now we're going to finish off with signing our name with a Sharpie. Look up some of your names. When we do the characters, they read from top to bottom. If you need to go ahead and draw yours out in pencil first, you can do that. So this would go like this, and then I go through. 1, 2. These lines get a little confusing, so take your time. When you're ready, you can go ahead, get your Sharpie, and trace over it. There we have our Chinese landscape painting using Sumi Painting with different values. different brush strokes, our stamped chop for our signature, and our name.